Hello. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone is doing well this Sunday evening and can hear me okay. Let me go ahead and check out my live stream, see if I'm live on the book. Hold 1 second. As you come in, go ahead and say, hey, girl, hey. Let me know that you're in the house, that you're on the live stream with me. Testing, testing. Am I live? Yep, look like I am live on the book. And I am also streaming live over on the YouTube channel, honey. So listen, if y'all not following me over there on YouTube, go ahead and jump on over to YouTube. Look me up under Money Management Matters. That is my business. I am the owner and the creator of Money Management Matters. And I help women and a few good men manage their money better. I help women save more money, make more money, and in particular, protect that money because I am a licensed life insurance agent here in the state of Georgia. And I show women how to protect their income. Hey there, my son, best woman. Thank you so much for that comment. Let me put that on the screen. Let me put that on the screen. Hold on 1 second. There it is. The best woman to get educated about money management. Thank you so much for that shout out. I appreciate you, son. That's my little sidekick, my young one, my protege. He is going to be a fabulous money manager himself. So I appreciate that support. So listen, if you haven't followed me over on YouTube, go ahead and follow me. Um, he's checking in on YouTube as well. And yeah, I'm going to be doing more live streams over there about money management and financial literacy. And look, this month is the Financial Literacy Awareness Month. And I decided that during this month of April that I would share some financial literacy with my audience, with my peeps that follow me. And so we can get, be more aware. That's what the month is for, to be more financially aware of money matters, of how money works, of ways to make more money, of ways to save more money, of ways to investing our money, and how we should be doing it so that we're not always struggling, so we're not always living paycheck to paycheck, so we're not always um, you know drowning in a whole bunch of credit card debt or whatever the case may be. So also, I want you to share the video out. Wait a minute. Share the video out with your family and your friends, honey. Let them know that Lisa Stringer Bailey is on the book and on YouTube as well. Hey, babe, Miss Tara is in the house. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, girlfriend. How you doing? Hope you having a wonderful day today. So, as always, when I do these challenges or I go Facebook Live with you guys, I always like to use my Bible as my foundation for financial principles because I do believe in God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, and I believe without these three that we are not going to make it in our financial lives. So, in order to get that straight, we got to have a relationship with God. Okay, we got to start putting him, front and foremost in our financial situations, in our financial decisions. And then we will see how much further or how much further along or how much abundance or how much financial blessings that we will see. So real quick, I am using the Bible app. We're going to go through a financial plan that I've picked out for this month of April. And if you want to follow along with me, of course, feel free to definitely follow along. Read the devotionals because I don't read the whole thing. I just kind of pick out important points I want you to know. But read the whole thing, read the scriptures, and get a complete understanding of it for yourself. So the plan that I'm using is Financial Fitness. Financial Fitness. You can look it up, search it up on the app. Financial Fitness. It's a 21-day devotional by Rick Warren. And we're going to use this for the first 21 days of this month. And then the rest of the days, I'll be sharing some other information. So we are on day 3. We're on day 3. Hey, Nicole, thank you, girl, for jumping on, chiming in from the YouTube page. I appreciate you, girl. I appreciate you chiming in from the YouTube, honey. Keep that YouTube popping. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button over on YouTube. And once you join, y'all hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm going live over there. So let me see. Tara said, that's right. We have to have God in everything. Okay. So Nicole said, hey, girl, hey, YouTube streets. All right, girl, get it popping, girl, over there on the YouTube streets. So let's get into this devotional, honey. Let's get into this devotional. We're on day 3. Today is April the 3rd. I'm just making sure, honey, I'll be losing my days. So the devotional is talking about what keeps you from God's financial blessing. Fear is what now the title is Fear Keeps You from God's Financial Blessing. And the title that I put in my description for this video was what keeps you from financial freedom. Do you ever just sit back and think, well, why am I going through what I'm going through? Why do I not have the money that I work hard for? Why am I not further ahead in my finances as I should be? So it's just a question for you to kind of ponder on yourself and think about that. And this is what Rick Warren says here. He says, what keeps us from investing in our lives? That's a good question. What keeps us from wanting to do better? Is it something in particular that we can see in our lives and our finances that keeps us on that, what they call that hamster wheel? What keeps us month after month paying the same bills, paying that same credit card bills, not ever being able to get rid of it? What keeps us from moving to financial freedom? What keeps us stuck, stagnant in this same area? It's something to think about. And what Rick Warren says, I'll tell you what it is. He says it's, does anybody else agree that it's fear? Hey, Teresa, girl, thank you for jumping on. Does anybody else feel like fear is keeping them stuck in their financial situation? In the Bible, there are financial principles. There's financial principles in the Bible laid out from God that tells us how we should be managing our money. God guarantees if we follow this blueprint, if we follow the financial principles that's set out in the Bible, He guarantees us, He promises us that we will be successful, that we will have financial freedom, that we will have abundance, that we will have financial blessings. God promises that if we do them, we will be blessed. But there's some requirements. There's some things that we have to do to get to that point. One thing that we have to do is we got to have faith. We got to believe in God. We got to believe on God's promises. We got to put God in it. We got to ask God, what should we do with our money? I tell y'all that all the time. Ask God, what should we sitting down, making our money plan? We should be asking God, how do you want me to allocate this money this month? Should I put it toward this bill? Should I put it toward this bill? Should I put it more toward giving? Should I double up on my car payment so I can hurry up and get that bill paid for? Nicole said, yes, definitely. Fear keeps us stuck. That's right. And it's not just in our finances, it's in our whole lots of other things that fear keeps us stuck in. This goes on to say, it requires faith, and faith scares a lot of people. We're afraid of doing it God's way. There's a lot in that, being afraid of doing it God's way. Maybe maybe people think God's way is boring. Do we think God's way is boring? I know a lot of people say church people are boring. Church ain't fun. That's something that a lot of times my children will say. Church ain't fun. Church is so boring. And we could still be feeling that as adults. We feel like if we do it God's way, it's not going to be fun. We're not going to be able to spend money. We're not going to be able to go out and party and spend money and dinner and clothes and shoes and all that kind of stuff. There are many kinds of fear that can hold you back. One of them is self-doubt. How many of us doubt self? How many of us doubts that we can maintain a money plan or a budget? How many of us think that we can get, once we get off budget, that we can never get back on budget? I've heard that many times. Well, I had a budget, but I can't stay on it. I can't stick to it. Well, one thing I tell people is don't call the budget. Call the plan. It's your plan. You're planning for not just your right now, but you're also planning for your future. You're planning for your children's future, for your children's children's future. I always say, don't think about just the now. Think about the future when you're planning out your money. And then you could possibly stay on that plan. So that's self-doubt. And if you failed in the past, we've all failed in the past. This is not something that, look, money management ain't something that's taught in school. This is something that I've learned from so many other financial coaches and consultants right now. It's like they had to learn on their own. We have to learn this stuff on our own. It's not taught to us in high school. It's not even barely taught to us in college. They teach us about economics and the big picture of economics. They talk a little bit about taxes, and but rarely do you hear about your children coming home saying, "Mama, I learned how to balance a checkbook today," or "I learned that credit card debt can be good, but it can be bad. I learned that I have to pay, if I do get a credit card, I need to pay it off every month." They don't tell you about that. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. So we're still learning this thing. We're learning this thing as we go. So guess what? As we learning things as we go, we're going to fail at it because we don't know it by heart. We don't know it verbatim, right? So it's okay to fail. But just listen, if you failed in the past, you got to try it again. A lot of people have self-doubt that if they failed at it one time, that they'll never be good at it again. And that's just simply not true. You can fail. What does God say in the Bible? You can fail 7 times, 7 times 7, and he's still going to forgive you. So what you got to do is just ask for forgiveness. Ask God to forgive you for not listening to his word, for not listening and going by the biblical principle of your money management, and start from scratch. Start over. It's okay. It's okay to start. If you got to start tomorrow, planning your money out, start tomorrow, because that's where it begins. And he says, everyone fails. It's the only way that you learn what works. Okay. So God uses ordinary people who just keep on going instead of giving up. So God looks for you to keep on going. If you fail and just stay down, how's God going to help you? If you just stay there, he don't want you to stay down in your mess. He don't want you to just throw in the towel and give up. He wants you to get back up swinging, get back up fighting, get back up and say, I'm going to do this. Even if it last month, your bills was overdue, or you had too much month for money that came in, whatever the case may be. Start tomorrow. Start this month saying, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do better in my finances. So then again, this goes back into the story we talked about yesterday about the rich man that gave his servants a certain amount of money or a certain amount of talents, and what they did with it. The first one invested it and doubled it. The second one invested it and doubled it. Then the third one was so scared and fearful that he wouldn't double it, that he hit it in the ground, right? Hit it in the ground. And what happened with that is the rich man came back and was so upset with him that he gave the little bit that he had left with him, that he didn't do anything with it. He gave it to the first servant. So when you look at it like that, look at your finances. Like, if you don't do better with what the little you have, God is not going to bless it. God is not going to double it. He wants you to do something with it. You have to make a step. You have to make a plan. You have to decide what you're going to do, if you're going to do it the right way or the wrong way, if you're going to do it your way or God's way. And then sometimes when we don't do it God's way, then that's when we struggle. That's when God takes it away. That's when God don't bless it. That's where you fail. And if you don't get back up, you just lay there. Then you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to get any better. You're not going to have a savings account set up. You're not going to have life insurance set up for your family for if something happens to you. You're not going to be thinking that you want to be more financially secure, right? So you may have really messed up financially in the past, but it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is the direction your feet are going right now. So what direction do you want to go? Do you want to stay in the past? Do you want to keep going backwards? Do you want to stay stuck? Or do you want to go forward? You have to make the decision. You have to make the decision. And I'm here to help motivate you to make the decision to go forward. Quit being stuck in your money matters. Get the help that you need. Reach out to me. Reach out to, if it ain't me, reach out to another financial planner, financial coach. Do the research for yourself. But implement. You got to implement what you have learned, okay? So let's see. It talks more about fear is always attached to desire to do it God's way. So it talks about Satan going to try to get you to not follow God's principle for money management by making you afraid of failure or making you doubt your ability to be a good steward of God's money. So those are two things we need to look out for. We need to look out for fear, okay? And we need to look out for self-doubt. So those are two things that's probably keeping us stuck in our money, keeping us where we don't want to move forward. And that is nothing but a way that the devil is trying to get into our finances, get into our families, and keeping us in that stagnant state, okay? Keeping us from being abundant or receiving the blessings of God, okay? So look out for those two things, and those are two things we need to combat when they do come up upon us. But if you're going to be successful in life, you must move against your fears. You have to do the very thing that you fear the most. So if you fear failure, you got to do it. If you feel like you can't maintain a money plan, you still have to try and do it. When you do move forward in faith and follow God's guidelines for financial peace, you will experience God's blessing and even more resources and responsibilities. Of course, we talked about that before too. The more God gives you, the more that God sees you doing right with what you have right now, He will give you more resources. He will give you more responsibilities, and that leads to more income, more financial blessings coming your way. So the scripture reference for this was Matthew 25, 28, and 29. And this is the NIV version. And this was after what we read last night of the talents. So he took the bag of gold from him. This was the third servant that did nothing with the money. He took the bag of gold from him and gave it to the one who had 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. But whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. So you got to move forward. You got to take steps to build upon what God has already given you. He's giving you resources. He's giving you a job. He's giving you money, but you got to take that money. You got to be good stewards with it, and you got to invest it. do something with it. Money is fluid. Money is ever moving, and we have to show God that we can do what it is that He has asked us to do with it. Okay, so let's see what these comments says. Nicole said, "Ask for forgiveness and don't repeat the same mistakes." That's right. That's right. That's right. You can always ask for forgiveness. God is going to forgive us 7 times 7, 7 times 7. So I don't let that be the reason why you don't do better in your finances. It's because you've done wrong in the past. Okay, let's see. And thank y'all so much for all your comments. I appreciate that. When we don't give God something to bless, okay, that equals no blessings. Girl, you got to give God something to work with. Amen to that. Give him something to work with. I love that, Nicole. I love that. We got to make some steps. Tara said we need to rebuke fear and self-doubt in Jesus' name. That's right. You got to rebuke it. And those are the two things that he's saying here that can hinder us from our blessings. Is that fear and self-doubt. Quit doubting ourselves. God has given us everything that we need to be successful in our lives. And that's in everything in our lives. That's in our money, that's in our health, that's in our family lives, our relationships. God gives us everything we need. We just have to implement it. We just have to take hold to it, acknowledge it, and know that God is going to be there with us because He wants us to succeed, especially in our finances. Because the more finances we have, the more money that we have, the more that we can give and back into His kingdom. We can give back into His kingdom. Stop self-doubt. So that's it, girls and ladies and gents and anyone else that's listening. I appreciate you guys listening in tonight. Hope and pray it was something that was encouraging for you. But we're going to carry this on out for the rest of the month of April. So tune in tomorrow evening for my money motivation. We'll just do a day 4 of the devotional and see what else God has to say about our money, honey. I'm telling you, we have to keep Him all up in there for it to work. So you all have a great rest of your evening and hope and pray that we will be able to speak again on tomorrow. Okay? Thank you all for joining. If you're catching this on the replay, go ahead and hit that hashtag replay. Let me know you came through so I can properly thank you for doing so. All right? Thank you guys. Y'all have a good night.